All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle something pretty cool, I think, the Math Olympiad.
Oh, yeah.
Which, people call it the Olympics of math, right? Like
Yeah.
countries sending their best and brightest high schoolers
Right.
to just go head to head, in this battle of the brains.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing you're here because you're either, a student thinking, hey, maybe I want to get in on this.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're a parent of someone who, just loves math and you want to understand what this whole world's about.
Right.
So today we're going to really pull back the curtain, get like a backstage pass to this whole intense world of competitive mathematics.
That's right.
And we're going to be looking specifically at some really fascinating material about how India, which is, a real Math Olympiad powerhouse,
Yeah.
how they prepare their students for this global challenge.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about things like, they have this crazy selection process, super intense. The benefits that actually go way beyond just, being good at math and solving equations.
Right.
And we're even going to talk about a specific training program
Okay.
that's actually producing some real Olympiad champions.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So let's dive in. All right. So one of the things that really jumped out at me from these sources was just how many students
Right.
actually start this journey to try to even qualify for, to represent India.
The IMO, yeah.
At the IMO.
The International Math Olympiad, yeah.
Like, the numbers are unbelievable.
It is crazy, the sheer scale of it.
Right. It's not just like a small group of, math slub kids who decide, hey, let's give this a shot. It's huge.
Well, what's fascinating is the journey to the IMO actually begins with a staggering number of students. In India alone, we're talking almost 100,000 students.
100,000.
Taking the first qualifying test.
Wow.
That's the Indian Olympiad qualifier in mathematics.
Okay, so let's break this down.
Sure.
100,000 students. I mean, that's like, filling a whole stadium.
Pretty much.
That's just the first hurdle, right?
Yeah.
Was it the IOQM?
IOQM, it's mouthful.
Yeah. It's just the beginning, right?
It is. It's a multi-stage selection process, and it just gets increasingly more difficult at each level.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. Like, after the IOQM, what's next?
Well, if you clear the IOQM, then you move on to the Regional Mathematical Olympiad, the RMO.
RMO, okay.
And this is where things really start to separate the, really dedicated, the really talented, the really interested.
So, like, how tough are we talking here? Like, what kind of problems are these students facing?
I mean, the RMO is notorious for its difficulty.
Okay.
Just attempting one question is a big achievement at that level.
Really? Just attempting one?
Yeah, and that really highlights the caliber of the students, because they're not just, kind of like textbook problems. They're very complex.
Right.
Challenging. You need that creative thinking and a very deep understanding of mathematical principles to even start to attempt these questions.
Right. Yeah, it really paints a picture of just the level of dedication and, brilliance, I guess, that these students have.
Absolutely.
But, reading through these sources, it sounds like going through this kind of Olympiad trial by fire
Right.
actually has some serious benefits.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't, come out with the gold medal.
Yeah, and think about it. It pushes students way beyond their comfort zones.
Yeah.
Encountering problems they've never seen before.
Right.
Having to, think on their feet.
Figure it out.
Figure it out, exactly. And that builds a resilience, a problem-solving ability, and that is invaluable, I think, regardless of what you do in life.
So it's almost like this mental boot camp,
Kinda, yeah.
You come out just tougher.
Yeah.
More able to tackle any problem.
That's right.
But how does that translate? How do you connect that to real world skills, I guess?
Well, think about it. The Olympiad forces you to break down these complex problems into smaller, manageable parts. And that's essential in, fields like programming, engineering, anything where you're dealing with these really complex systems.
Right.
It also teaches you to think logically, systematically. And those are crucial skills in anything analytical, finance, data science, you name it.
Yeah, it's almost like, if you train for a marathon, you're not necessarily going to run marathons your whole life.
Right.
But you've built that endurance.
Exactly.
That mental toughness.
Yep.
That you can apply to anything, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, one of our sources mentioned this program called Raising a Mathematician.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it sounds like they're doing some pretty incredible stuff in terms of actually getting students ready
Oh, yeah.
to, compete at this really high level.
Yeah, they've got a phenomenal track record.
They do.
I mean, a student from their program won a gold medal at the 2024 IMO.
Wow.
They had a large representation at the IMOTC, which is the final training camp before the IMO.
Cool.
And they've got a significant number of students who consistently clear the RMO cutoff.
I mean, those are some serious stats.
Yeah.
What do you think is, like, what's the secret sauce? What's making this program so successful?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think the faculty probably plays a huge role.
Okay.
You know, their experience, their expertise, maybe that's one of the things that sets them apart.
Right.
But it's also got to be more than just teaching the concepts, right?
Yeah.
I think they're instilling a real love for problem solving, a belief in their students.
Right. That mindset, that growth mindset.
Exactly. And that can make all the difference.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So I guess it begs the question, is this specialized training
Right.
becoming like the key to success at this level?
It's a good question, isn't it? Because as the level of competition rises,
Right.
that extra edge
Yeah.
could be what separates, you know, those who make it to the IMO and those who don't.
It's a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've gone through this whole journey today from, you know, these thousands of students who take that first step
Yeah.
to, you know, the handful who actually reach like the pinnacle of the Math Olympiad.
Right.
And we've learned, you know, it's not just about memorizing formulas.
Right.
It's about, you know, building that critical thinking, the resilience, the passion for problem solving.
Absolutely.
But I want to leave you with a thought. If you could design the perfect training program
Okay.
for a future Math Olympian, what would that look like?
Mm.
Would it be, you know, just purely focused on the mathematical skills?
Yeah.
Or would you bring in other things like creativity, collaboration, even, you know, a bit of fun? That's something to think about.
Interesting.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive,
It was a pleasure.
and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.